Hi everyone, it's a super lovely day today. It feels really warm in the house, so I haven't actually checked. Let me see what the temperature is, but it looks like the perfect weather to go outside in the garden. Yes, 18 degrees, and it's going to get up to 19. So hence the sun on my desk, and again it's noon, just after noon, and the sun is always on that side of the house at that time, and as it happens, I just need to find little snippets of time when I have them during the day to film a video for you. So I really hope you don't find this sun situation annoying. Just think of it as welcoming sun in your life. So, okay, I unfortunately have yet again forgotten to switch the mic, and so I just opened this sketchbook and I was chatting and I realized something, that I didn't have the mic on, so I have to refilm this. Okay, so this is Jackson's haul, and I just got a few things that I needed, and so let's start with the sketchbook again. Now this is the Jackson's own brand. This is my first time ordering from their from them. I don't know how long they had these sketchbooks available, but I mean, their brushes are exquisite, like they're just amazing. So I have mentioned them many times over and over. So my first ever brush that I discovered from Jackson's was the Quill brush, and particularly the 10-0 size for my, you know, the work and the paintings that I do in the smaller sketchbooks. It's perfect. And then I discovered the Raven brush, and the original one I bought was the 3-0, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's like sort of has this sort of mop brush kind of squirrel hair imitation, but it's a synthetic. So if you are looking for vegan brushes, these are fantastic because they are synthetic. However, they're just done so beautifully. I love the style of it. I love everything about it. They're completely lightweight. The handle is small, so if you go for a bigger brush, let's say I have another Quill brush here in a 2, then the handle gets a little bit bigger, so you can see. So if you like to work in with bigger paintings, the brush handle does get a bit bigger depending how large the brush is. And they have loads and loads of lovely brushes. So there is the Icon brush that they have from the Icon series, which has, I think, similar if not the same hair as the Quill brush. It's just a flat brush. Then they also have this other series. Where is it? I'm just trying to find it. Where is it gone? Oh, here they are. Okay, so they also have this silver line, which has loads of really interesting brushes. So it has the different, like the cat tang, then this sword brush, all sorts of things that you can look into. So I highly recommend their brushes because I have used them for a long time now, and really they kind of, apart from them, the other ones that I like using is the silver black velvet. So very comparable in my opinion. These are, I think, a mix of natural hair and synthetic from what I remember, so not vegan. These, however, are vegan if you're interested, but for me, like quality wise, very comparable, and these are pretty good, you know, quite expensive, high quality brushes. And then the brushes from Jackson's I find really affordable. Okay, so having tried a few things from their own brand, I then decided to try the sketchbook. Now, I previously finished this Stillman and Birn sketchbook. This is the beta series, which is, I believe, 210 GSM, if I'm not confused. And so it's got nice thick paper, like you can hopefully have a bit of a ASMR sensation there. So it's quite thick, and yeah, really enjoyed it because it was sort of like a experiment swatch casual kind of sketchbook where I didn't feel like I had to produce a piece of art on every page or feel guilty for, you know, doing swatches on the entire page, because I have a swatch book where I dedicated the entire sketchbook to swatches. And then I like to carry something small where I sort of do swatches, but also a little bit of artwork just to test run the paint. So having finished that, I believe there is a flip through. If I find it, I'll try to link up here for you to watch it. So you can see the difference of the size. It's a little bit bigger and it's a different format. Now this is 160 GSM. It's acid-free cotton blend watercolor paper with Swan binding. That's very important for me. The Stillman and Birn are also Swan binding. Where is it? We find the signature. There we go. So they are sewn and then stuck with glue in between, which, you know, it kind of, the signatures, they are stuck with a bit of glue, which sort of came off in some occasions. So I'm not really sure why you would need a glue, but that's how they did it. We'll have a look how Jackson did theirs. Suitable for both wet and dry techniques, 48 sheets. So perfect for what I need. And I just had such an excitement. It's a shame that it wasn't filmed. Oh, it was filmed, but I had to refilm. So basically I was so excited when I just opened it and I saw the texture of the paper, because this is my favorite texture. It's got that like organic kind of lovely texture of the paper that is just so beautiful. Like watercolor tends to look amazing. Also, every single page is exactly the same, so they're not one-sided papers by the looks of it. Quite often you get sketchbooks that are kind of more craft watercolor sketchbooks rather than, you know, artist grade. They tend to have one-sided feeling to them. So one would be quite textured and the other side would be quite flat, which indicates the paper isn't that high quality. Now in this case, every single page seems to be consistent and it seems to have exactly the same texture on both sides, which I'm super excited about. The other thing, let's look at the binding. So here is the signature. Okay, so the first page is always stuck with a bit of glue. Let's see. Yeah, so there is some glue, but it seems to be very thin. So if I press into it, there is no thick glue there at all. So these are the signatures, I'll show you from this angle, that are connected. And you can see they're stuck together with a very thin layer of glue. So to compare the Stillman and Birn, so you can see they rip off because there's quite a bit of a glue in between, and it ends up looking like that on all of them. So you can see they were stuck together like that, and then as soon as you open it, it kind of sort of has this situation. So if you wanted to continue painting on both pages, that would look quite ugly. But it doesn't seem to be the case here. It's done really beautifully. And just the feeling of this paper gets me so excited and makes me want to just start painting. Oh, here we go. So it's Kunstpaper DE. Okay, German paper. Of course it's going to be good. Yeah. So they must be using this brand of paper, which is amazing. Like, I just love it. The other thing, let's compare the colors. So I don't know if you can see it with the sun and in the shade, but basically Stillman and Birn has that bluish undertone, so it's a cool white. This one is a warm white, but it's definitely a white. It's not like a ivory, or how should I say, like a warm toned white. Definitely not. If I show you a warm tone white, let's see if I have a good example. So something like this is kind of warm toned. This is the Dilutions journal. Okay, so really super excited. The quality seems to be amazing. It feels really good. I mean, obviously it's 160 GSM, so it wouldn't take a huge kind of amount of water and wash, but for what I needed, it's perfect. I love the design of it. I love this fabric. It's black. I mean, you could gesso it and do some art on it if you wanted to. It sort of feels like a canvas, but I just love the feel of it. So I might just add some stickers maybe, or just leave it like that. I love the feeling in my hand of this sketchbook. And then the grey inlay, and then go straight into this beautiful textured paper. So highly recommended, but I haven't tried it yet, but just from the feel of the paper I can tell it's nice. It's very, very nice. Okay, that's that. Next thing, I love how how Jackson's, I keep mentioning it just in case you're new to this channel, I love how Jackson's always packs their packages to ensure nothing breaks. So they recycle the packaging. So if you get something from Caran and you think, I didn't order anything, it's just that they're recycling the packaging. So that's great. Okay, so here is a pencil that I really was on a hunt for, and I was hoping to get it on Amazon, and I couldn't find it, and I found it surprisingly. I didn't think of looking for it on Jackson, but I did look and I found it on Jackson. So this is the Stabilo pencil, all, and it's water soluble, and it's supposed to be this really super intense black kind of color. And when it says here all, it's basically supposed to write on paper, glass, plastic and metal. So it's kind of like an all-purpose pencil. There we go, you can see it here now. And where I found out about this pencil is from Ali Brown. Check her channel out. I absolutely love her art. This is where I also discovered these China markers that I've never heard about. So she quite often uses the black and the white, but I also saw they do different colors, and I also got a yellow, because currently yellow seems to be a reoccurring color in my art, as you can see. And if you check out my Instagram, Alyona Creates, you'll see there's quite a bit of yellow there as well. So anyways, yeah, so I discovered those China markers from her. These are non-water soluble, but they do the same thing. So you can write with them on any surface, and they're quite intense. And for example, if you're doing mixed media piece and you have done some acrylics, or you have done some sort of work that other pencils wouldn't really grip onto, these do, and this does as well. And again, these are waterproof, and these are this is water soluble, so you can, if you wanted that sort of a bit of a, you know, watercolor effect, you could do it with this pencil. So I'll just quickly show you an example. So here's a piece I did yesterday. There is actually a tutorial that should be up on my channel. Look at the lip. I wonder if you can see it because it's sunshine now. Can you see that? I'm just going to... There we go. Can you see that little sparkle on the lip? Well, I'm quite proud to say this is from my... I can never show this, showcase my watercolors like that, because generally I film it without the sun, and so you need the sun to see the sparkles. So that might be a good opportunity. So here is the sparkle of my watercolor. So these are, if you're new again, these are my handmade watercolors. So these are the colors. So I don't know how much you can see in the shade. And they have this gentle sparkle that if you look at it in sort of this light, you will hardly see any sparkles, but depending on the light, the watercolors turn into this. There's about 10 sets left, by the way, and once they sell out, I'm not going to be making them again, because I made a ton of them, and I am looking forward to making new sets. So if you're interested, check them out on my Etsy, Alyona Creates. Okay, so yes, so basically here I used the China marker. Here you can see how super black and intense it is, and it just doesn't smudge. I've never come across any pencils that, because I want that intensity, but generally they'll start smudging and they make a lot of mess. This one does not smudge, it doesn't budge. And then after I finished, I used what did I use? The acrylic ink from Liquitex as a watercolor, and basically went over it, and it just didn't smudge, it didn't move, it stayed exactly where it was. So that's great for when you want to incorporate watercolors afterwards. But if you wanted to make your line move a little bit, this is the one you need. So I'll try to link everything down below for you. Then this one I kind of experimented to get myself. I haven't heard about it before, but kind of was inspired also by Ali Brown, because she uses these. Oh, doesn't have any. I was hoping it would have something inside. No, it should do. Hold on a second. Oh, wow. That's it. Look at this big boy. That will last me a good while. So, she uses these different thicknesses of graphite. And this looked pretty good to me. I think this is supposed to be 6B. What is it supposed to be? It should say. Oh, is it Czech Republic? Koh-i-Noor? How interesting. All this time I thought it's a Chinese brand. And that's very interesting. Authentic quality product. Mechanical clutch lead holder 5/6. Okay, well, I can't see any information on the thickness, or the hardness rather, of the nib. So let's see if I can find a little bit of paper just to try it out. Maybe I'll try it out at the back of my new sketchbook here. Well, it's very, it's nice and thick, and then you could vary the thickness, and look, do a bit of that. So basically that's what I got it for. It feels very heavy and very nice. I just love the design of it. Kind of feels good in your hand. And there's like a little screw here, and it just, yeah, has it's kind of cool. So that's what I got it for. It's hard to say. I'd say it's somewhere between a 3B and a 6B. I don't know, but it's definitely nice and dark is what I wanted. Okay, now I can see the time is now starting to get close to 20 minutes, which I didn't want the video to be too long. So now let me move on to the final piece de resistance, and these are the Caran Neocolor II, the aquarelle crayons. So I had a little chit chat with some of my viewers, and we were basically talking about these, and I kind of was considering to get them. I'm supposed to have 15 colors here. Let me quickly. It's got 16 colors. I thought I ordered 15, but it might have been. Oh yes, I ordered one crayon twice accidentally, which is the blue turquoise, which I can't complain about because let's face it, blue turquoise is my favorite color along with yellows at the moment. So basically I had this little chit chat with some of my viewers, and I've been watching and seeing these being used a lot, and for some reason in the past I kind of always associated these crayons with craft grade, but Caran is a very renowned and very good artist grade brand, so they really are good quality, but they have been used throughout by crafters, and recently I've been taking a lot of online courses, and I discovered that actually professional artists like to use them as well, and that was kind of eye-opening experience for me. So hence why I thought, okay, well, if it's good for them, it's going to be good for me, and ordered some colors. I decided against the idea of ordering a set because it seemed a lot cheaper for me to buy it like open stock, just selecting every color separately and doing my own color palette, which is where I'm kind of heading now. I feel a strong attraction towards certain color combinations, and it's all kind of starting to make a bit more sense in my mind, rather than buying the generic, you know, yellow, oranges, reds, pinks, greens, blues and purples, which I know half of them I won't find much use for because I don't enjoy those colors. Now, it ends up being cheaper, like I said, if you buy them like that in this case, because I guess with the sets you also have to pay for the metal tin. So in my case, I already have something where I'm thinking to keep them on, which I'll just get. So I kept this Laura Ashley leopard letter opener, which I bought a while ago, I think like during Christmas or something. And I kept this box because I thought it's just such a nice little box and very decorative. So I thought I'll find use for it one day. And here we go. So it kind of actually fits 16 of them perfectly, funny enough. So yeah, I will do the color order, of course, and just really happy to play around with them. So if you're new and you never heard of these, the Neocolor I is the regular crayon, and then the Neocolor II are the aquarelle ones, so they're water soluble. So again, you can use them with that sort of in mind. And the other thing is they are a little bit different to other water crayons. From what I understand, they have a little waxy kind of feel to them, and although they're water soluble, you can do loads of really interesting things. Like, for example, you could layer watercolor on top of these and still have that waxy texture come through, so that the watercolor would kind of merge apart around the marks that you made with these. So there's a lot of cool stuff that I've seen and learned, so I might share that with you soon as well. Okay, so I'm super excited because it's all kind of starting to settle down for me in the art world, with colors, with textures and things like that. So it's taken me quite a good few years to understand perhaps where my style is heading and what my color palette could be. So yeah, I hope you found it somewhat useful, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.